Have you heard of the legend of the Coffin Princess? The legend speaks of a princess whose dynasty lasted a short time. And every year on July 7th, near the princess's tomb, people see a ghost in a red dress. It seems to be the ghost of the thick-thighed lady, but she has this deformed face who dares to venture. She wanders around the tomb. We see our protagonist speaking. The day of the princess's death is also the day when her energy is strongest. And on July 7th of this year, the leader of the beggar clan will guide us all to the princess's cemetery. When the time comes, I will take you to the most incredible live stream in history, and together we will share this moment. Does the princess really exist? Or is this a lie? Discover all the mysteries in today's live stream. The chubby guy seeing this announcement on TikTok says, "Dude Fang, we barely launched the video and it's already blowing up. Just the promotion has already hit over 1 million. This one's definitely gonna be big." Fang is all confident and praises the chubby guy's work, as expected from a professional director. The director thanks him, but inside he's thinking, damn, I didn't want to do this live stream here, but it's just that I'm thinking about money. The workers under the boss are all kinda not wanting to do this job in the middle of the forest either. Until a guy comes running to warn that the actress who was supposed to come said that this place here is too remote, and so she will be late. The director shouts that it's a simple performance, so tell her to come soon. We can't miss this broadcast. The sweating boy agrees and the director tells everyone. We have to be ready by 11:30 and it's already past 7. Hurry up, you idiots. Fang is impressed with the professionalism of this team and thinks, I spent $1,000 to make this happen, but if today's live goes well, we'll reap the profits. But the director tells him that the actress is kinda late and Fang slumps in his chair thinking, it hasn't even started and there are already problems. The chubby guy tells him it's no problem, she'll show up already. A while later, it's almost 11 o'clock and still no sign of the girl. Where is she? The boy who was calling her said she's not answering her phone anymore. The director says to tell her that if she doesn't show up, they'll sue her, and then tells the kid to put on the dress and play the role of the ghost. The boy is confused but gets a kick from the director. But right at that moment, he tells the director that she arrived and she's up there. On a mountain, there really is a girl with silver hair. Everyone is confused. Not only did she arrive, but she brought her own clothes. And besides, the clothes she brought are much better than the ones they had prepared. The director then tells them to start the recording and tells Fang that they are ready. The guy puts his cap on backwards, the cameraman turns on the lights, and he says to the live, "Today we are here at the princess's tomb, and you all must have heard of the legend. Lately, more and more supernatural events have been happening around the world. And just in the place where we are, the ghost in the red dress has already been seen 5 times. He says there are a lot of messages in the live, it's going well. Of course, there are a lot of people doubting, saying it's fake." Fang then tells them to continue the exploration and walks through the forest. He arrives in front of her tomb and says that it's very sad. Her soul has been wandering for so long, and they say she appears on July 7th to talk about her sorrows. One of the cameramen sets a rock for him to pretend to get scared. He then looks up the top of the mountain and thinks, now I just have to get close to her according to the script. Seeing the girl from afar, he already thinks she's a very professional actress and of her. The money was well spent. The boy trying to contact the actress calls the director, who tells him to shut up because the live is going very well. Popularity has already exceeded 1 million and they are in the top 10. According to my contract, I get 10% of everything. The boy tries again to talk to him, but the director tells him to shut up and asks, "Are you tired of receiving a salary?" Turns to the crew and tells them to hurry up because it's almost midnight. "Mr. Fang, it's time for you to find the actress. On top of the mountain, just follow the script." The boy insists once more and informs the director that the actress he had found said she wouldn't come today. At that moment, a gust of wind hits everyone and they wonder what's happening. The boy gets startled and informs that she disappeared but gets a slap on the head. The director tells him that it's obvious she disappeared. It's part of the script. She tells Fang that the actress is ready, so he just needs to climb the mountain. Fang looks up the top and thinks that this gust of wind scared him. However, he isn't afraid and moves forward. Then he asks the live, "Does the princess's ghost really exist here?" The boy comes again to tell the director the same thing. "Show me the message from the actress who said she wouldn't come." At that moment, the director gets scared. If she's not coming, who's up there on the mountain? When Fang sees her closer, he's amazed by her beauty. He falls backward there to make some drama for the live, but thinks, "This actress is too professional. I can't even believe it." He starts acting, trembling, and asks, "Who are you?" The director wants to know the same thing, and one of the cameramen advises to look at her feet. They realize she's floating on the live. Everyone is impressed with the level of cinematic production, while the director begins to wonder if they've encountered a real ghost, the true princess of the dynasty. The boy grabs him, saying it doesn't make sense since ghosts aren't captured on cameras. One guy wants to know if she's an alien. Fang is doing his theater. Who are you? Don't come closer. However, he's impressed with the quality of the clothes and the hair dye. Everything is perfect. It seems I hit the jackpot with this team. It's time for my performance. He then leaps and says to her, I'm not afraid of you. I was born in the sunlight and lived in the spring breeze. A mere ghost doesn't scare me. He looks over there and waves while the cameramen think he's crazy. The ghost comes with her hands ready to grab. The director has to warn him that it's good for the live. However, the guys who are recording say there was an electromagnetic discharge and they can't communicate with Fang's headset anymore. They tell the director they should run and leave that guy behind. Then there's a gust of wind carrying some feathers that tear up the whole ground. Suddenly, the ghost grabs Fang by the neck. When he sees her face, he's amazed at how cute she is. In the live, most comments say that even though she's a ghost, they would venture. While Fang is confused, how does this woman have so much strength? I'm almost suffocating here. He tells her to let go, thinking she's really trying to kill him. I can't breathe. Everyone down there is also afraid of dying and tells the director to think of a solution. I'm too young to die. But the director also has no idea. Fang is almost passing out and going to the next life. However, the power of capitalism is stronger when he thinks, do you know how much I spent to make this happen? This live is very important. All she has to do is play her role right. He grabs her arm and tells her to let go. A golden bracelet on his wrist then glows. An aura emanates from his body and she releases him onto the ground, almost choked to death, and thinks, this ghost almost strangled me, and they call themselves a professional team. Is this how they act? But then he remembers it's in the middle of the broadcast and needs to follow the script. I worked so hard to make this happen. I won't let it fail. He looks at her and says, I never expected to see the ghost woman here really haunting the princess's tomb. I won't lie, my whole life I've been a virgin and single. And since you want to kill me, I'm going to do something I never thought I'd do before I die. My live heroes, listen. Even if I become a ghost and die here, there'll be a romantic death, because today I'm going all out. He then approaches the princess and says, Princess, please abandon this millennia-old obsession and marry me. The director wasn't expecting this and everyone on the live is incredulous. Fang the fool is feeling confident, thinking he created the perfect scene. The contrast between pain and romance. This is the climax of the live. Does the ghost repeat the words? She looks at him and a gust of wind starts to happen. Fang is confused, wondering what's happening with this actress. Why isn't she following the script again? She was supposed to turn around and run after that. She suddenly approaches, heading towards the ring, and asks him, why did you come to marry me now? He's somewhat confused, not sure what to respond. But suddenly, the ghost starts crying and asks, why did you make me wait so long? Fang starts questioning how these production team guys are creating all these effects. The girl is now screaming, wanting to know, why did you leave me alone? Everyone on the team gets blown away, and the director hits his back on a tree. The girl starts transforming into a creature of shadows. Fang is desperate, trying to escape. Damn it, this can't be part of the production. I have to make a name for myself still. I haven't earned enough money, and I'm not ready to die. But the ghost stands there crying and asks him, why are you leaving me already? Don't abandon me like this again. Fang suddenly stops and remembers some memories when his parents said, you'll stay here a few days, okay? Your mom and dad will be back soon. Your uncles will take good care of you. But obviously, what happened was very different. He was mistreated and beaten every day, and his uncles would tell him, your relatives don't like you, so either you work or you won't have anything to eat. In bed, he would always cry, asking his parents to come back, saying he would be obedient. He just didn't want to be abandoned again. Seeing the ghost, he thinks they are alike, so he puts his hand on her head and tells her not to cry. He then takes the ring from the box, puts it on her finger, and hugs her. He tells her that he's back to marry her, breaking her curse. Strangely, the ghost sends him flying upward, hitting his head. The girl apparently is bipolar. The next day, he wakes up with the whole production trying to wake him up, saying they thought he was dead. He asks what happened and where the ghost is. They look at each other and say that after that gust of wind, everyone passed out. He happens to remember something before they passed out. But the cameraman says unfortunately they don't remember anything, and with the wind, the camera only recorded the ground. Fang remembers putting the ring on her finger, but tells them he doesn't remember anything either. He probably passed out at the same time as everyone else. The director then informs him that he gained 150,000 followers just last night, and the live made over $30,000. After they release the video, his popularity will increase even more. Fang is all happy, telling the ridiculous director he won't forget to send his share. But now it's better for everyone to return since they spent the whole night in the forest. With that, our boy is heading back home. But his house is very abandoned. the content creator life isn't easy. He enters the house, grabs a Coke while seeing that his video has already hit 100,000 views. The comments are crazy and he already feels the taste of success. But he starts to wonder who that girl was. He didn't even ask her name, and the strangest thing is that he slept all night but was still exhausted and sleepy. Moreover, he offered to marry her. He just doesn't expect her to keep following him. After all, he wants to live for a long time and doesn't want to carry so much resentment. He lies down on the bed and thinks she must have gone back to her grave, right? As he closes his eyes, saying he needs to think about how to make more money with these videos. Night falls and he sleeps. When he wakes up, he goes to grab his phone, but something strange happens and he wonders, "Where's my phone?" Suddenly, he sees the ghost on top of him and gets startled. "I'm dreaming again, it must be." As the saying goes, we think during the day and dream at night. This dream of mine is so crazy it feels like reality. Dreams change according to my will. He closes his eyes and starts repeating to himself, "I can't see, I can't see." But when he opens them again, she's there staring at him. Damn it, she didn't disappear. I'm too tired, that's why I can't even control my dreams. It must be that. I remembered a tip. To know if you're in a dream, just try to put your finger through your hand. If it's a dream, I'll be able to move it easily. He tries the test, but it hurts a lot. And the ghost girl asks what he's doing. He starts to wonder if this isn't a dream. Then he touches her, saying it feels very real, and then asks her why she's there. Thinking, darn it, this ghost followed me, is she trying to kill me? She takes his hand, and he imagines she doesn't want to kill him. She all cute, says she just came to see him. Our guy is confused and asks, "Why do you want to see me? We don't even know each other." She says it's because he's her husband now, which leaves our hero scared. Wait, what's this situation? Does she really think I'm her husband? She starts activating his powers and asks, "Have you forgotten already?" He realizes then that everything from last night was real and the most important thing now is to survive, so he speaks up. He said he hasn't forgotten and asks her name, to which she responds, "It's Lily." She smiles all happily and he, happy to have survived, wonders, why is this ghost so beautiful? Am I seeing things wrong or have I been single for too long? Then he asks her, "How did you end up here?" This place is at least 10 kilometers from the tomb. Lily then starts floating toward him and enters the pendant. Fang is confused, wondering where she is, and suddenly she comes out of his belly, saying she's inside his body now. The poor guy freaks out and accidentally expels her, throwing her to the ground, thinking she's cute and seems to have no ill intentions toward him. She gets up, steps on her dress, and clumsily falls. Fang asks why she doesn't change her clothes as they're too long and difficult to move in. She agrees and starts using a power, and our hero thinks she'll activate some special clothing change. But in fact, it was the legendary power of demonetization that makes any protagonist fall backward and have a nosebleed. He throws her a change of clothes and tells her to get dressed for God's sake, wondering, why does this ghost seem so different from the ones in the movies? Is she trying to end my purity after these 20 years? Then he asks if she put on the clothes, to which she says yes. When he turns around, he sees that the buttons are struggling more than Rock Lee versus Gaara to withstand the pressure of the mountains and almost bleed again. He then asks her if she really will stay here with him, and if they're now really husband and wife. Lily said yes, and that she'll go wherever her husband goes, and whatever he wants, he just has to say, and she's ready to obey. Our hero is just thinking he has to calm down, he can't have these thoughts about the legendary 1,000-year-old tomb princess. He tells her to come with him while thinking. She said she'll obey me, but even ghosts lie, so I have to test her. Elaine is curious to know what he's going to do. This is something only couples can do. But he takes her to the bathroom and puts her in front of the mirror, wanting to know why he brought her there. He then tells her, "You said I'm your husband, and you'll do what I say, right?" She says, "Yes, that's right." Fang then says he's going to teach her something she'll have to do every day. Brushing her teeth. If you're going to stay with me, you have to brush your teeth every morning and evening. Put the toothpaste here, like this. I'll teach you, come here. This is to clean your mouth. She jumps with her mouth open and takes a bite, but that was Fang's toothbrush, leaving him wondering, isn't this an indirect kiss? And teaches her properly while not being able to stop thinking about how beautiful she is. After a while, he says she did everything right and just not to use his toothbrush again because he'll buy one for her. Lily thanks him while he pets her. Our hero then asks, "Why are you so sure on your husband? And why are you treating me like this?" She says she doesn't remember and doesn't know why, but she's sure he's her husband and she's been waiting for him for a long time, and there's something she's also looking for, but she doesn't know exactly. This makes her sad. Fang is thinking something she's looking for. Does it have to do with memory loss? She takes a look at the note on her forehead, wondering what that thing is. Our guy thinks he has no idea what that is, but being something from a 1,000-year-old ghost, he won't even try to understand it. In front of the toilet, he's thinking, they say ghosts that stay on Earth are waiting to finish something they didn't complete in their past lives. What couldn't she finish? But he looks to the side, and she's there peeking, so he asks, "Hey, what are you doing?" She said she's waiting. He wants to know what she's waiting for, so he kicks her out of the bathroom, thinking he'll try to find a solution later. Because it's still possible she's just pretending to be cute, but soon she'll show her claws and cruelty. But she really is cute when she calls me husband. But darn it, I'm human, and she's a ghost. Things are different. There's no way to make this work, so I better find a way to make her leave soon. He opens the door and is startled to see her lying there next to one of his magazines with images of fruits like melon and papaya. He tries to grab it, and she flies away. He wants to know where she got it, saying it was under his bed. But she wants to know why no one covers the fruits in this book. Is this something couples do? Does she have to do this too? Fang is startled by this question and tries to grab it again, making up an excuse that he got it from a bald guy at the mall. He opens a page and asks why the girl is praying on her knees so shyly in front of the guy. He snatches it from her hand and tells her to stop looking at his stuff without permission. She sits, saying it's okay, and Fang is about to say something when suddenly she's in his face again, but now looking down, saying she wants to see what's there. He tells her to stop looking there, but Lily says the pictures look different from reality. She says they need to fix this now and moves in, but Fang tells her to forget what she saw and that it's not that simple. She says if they're a couple, then it has to be simple and easy. But our hero disagrees, saying they just met, and he tells her to sit so they can talk, but he's thinking he just doesn't want to lose his first time just like that. But if she insists a little more, he won't be able to resist. He's happy she finally obeyed and sat down. He's about to say something again when she suddenly says, "Got it." The people in the book didn't have a cloth, and she rushes at him in search of freedom. Fang is all confused, wondering why she pretends to stop and doesn't, while she asks if this is good, if this will make him want her. He grabs his shirt and throws it at her, saying, "Enough of this. Stop trying to do these things you saw in the book. Then I'll accept you." Lily agrees, and he asks, "By the way, don't you have magic to get some new clothes?" She explains that she can't create things out of nothing while sniffing his clothes. He snatches it from her hand and tells her to stop sniffing it. Fang is thinking that normally ghosts are invisible and not captured by cameras, so he asks, "Lily, are you really a ghost?" She looks confused and says she's not a ghost. Our hero then asks what she is, but she just lowers her head, saying she doesn't have an answer. Fang starts to ponder, is she the reincarnation of some feeling? To make her leave soon, they need to figure this out. And he asks, "Do you remember where you got lost?" She says she doesn't remember and that she's hungry. Fang is impressed that a ghost feels hungry and tells her to come with him, goes to the fridge and says he doesn't know what ghosts eat, grabs the only thing in the fridge and gives it to her. Lily hesitantly accepts, takes a bite, and returns it, saying she didn't like it. That's not enough to satisfy her. He finds this response strange. Not enough to satisfy her? Does a ghost need energy like humans do? But human food isn't enough. What kind of energy does the ghost need? She's not going to steal my energy, right? At that moment, she looks outside and says she smells delicious food. He goes out to check it out, but she grabs his shoulder and flies away with him. She takes him for a stroll in the city. He asks where she's going and tells her to take him back home, at least for his shoes. The couple then arrives in the forest, and she really brought him back to change his shoes. When he opens his eyes, he sees an abandoned school. He recognizes the name and thinks he's heard of that place before, and it's clearly all abandoned. He checks the GPS, and indeed they're where he thought they were, a place that appears in the news for being extremely scary and deserted. The story of why is very strange. A company bought the entire region to build an amusement park. However, when construction began, a bunch of accidents happened and many people died, so the project was canceled. Fang asks Lily why they're there. Staring at the building, she says there's delicious food inside. He finds this strange, delicious food. She's not trying to eat ghosts or evil spirits, right? He then runs to hide behind a tree and tells her she can go ahead and eat whatever she wants. But she says she can't stay away from her husband and starts pushing him inside. He says he doesn't need that and that he'll go in. He's happy. And then we hear about a case from the school. 10 years ago, there were several disappearances at the school. A 6th grade student named Liang Xiang disappeared inside the school. Relatives reported it to the police. However, they couldn't find any trace, neither in the school nor in the mountains. It was as if the girl had ceased to exist. But a month later, her body was found inside the school, all chewed up and terrorizing everyone. The police closed the area and conducted an autopsy on the body. It revealed that she had been dead for a month. There was no clue as to how that body got there. It just appeared out of nowhere, and 2 weeks later, the school manager tested the durability of a rope. After these incidents, a few more occurred until the school was abandoned. Our hero is just there remembering these news and praying that there's nothing strange there, while Lily is just having fun. He tells her, "How about we go home?" But she gives him a stare that says he was kidding. Why do I feel like I can't trust her? But I've noticed she's pretty strong. He opens a door, terrified, while she's already there ahead, running away. They walk down the hallway until she points and says, "Let's go there on the 5th floor to the manager's office." She flies happily. Our guy is desperate, but runs after her. When he arrives, she points, saying that's delicious food, but when he blows on it, it's just a cone, and there's nothing strange. But suddenly she takes it from his hand, swallows it, and says it's delicious. He asks why she swallowed it, but he realizes the room has gotten warmer. She explains that it was spiritual energy, and that's how she fills her stomach. Our guy is kind of confused. Was that what's evil about this school? Until she says, "I'm feeling there's more delicious food." He asks where, and she says she doesn't know, but it's close. Fang agrees, saying he'll take her there, but then he stops and thinks, what if I make an adventure video? A video about supernatural places? And he tells her he had an idea while they search for food for her. He can make money. She's confused and asks, how do you make money? Fang says, didn't you say you can feel spiritual energy? She says she can feel the direction, and he replies that's perfect thinking. If I take advantage of this ability of hers, I'll be able to capture several supernatural incidents and make a lot of money. He then hands her the phone and tells her always to keep the camera pointing at him. If the recording turns out well, he'll always take her to eat something delicious. With that, she's all happy, and he's excited to have a wife who can fly and even use magic to make videos. There's really nothing better than that for a supernatural explorer like him. Now it's just recording, posting, and making a lot of money and followers. He tells her, you know what you're going to do, right? First, film, and then eat. And he warns her that no matter what happens, she has to film properly. He then starts the live stream saying, what's up, folks? Long time no see. It's 1 a.m., and after visiting the legendary princess at the cemetery, here I am again. This time at Yuan School, an abandoned place in the suburbs of the mountains. This school was built 40 years ago for the children of the Haiyuan village, but 10 years ago, a mysterious disappearance of a girl occurred. Since then, various mysterious accidents have occurred. 3 years ago, the place was demolished, and the entire population left the town. Are all these incidents a coincidence? Or all orchestrated by someone? Are there really ghosts in this place? I'll take you on a tour of the abandoned school in search of the truth. As you can see, we're in the administrator's office. At this moment, behind him, the comb starts to fly. Lily is starving to eat but holds back since she needs to film first. Fang continues the story, saying this was the last place where the missing girl's body was seen, right in front of the administrator's office, which tested the strength of Chinese ropes. So this place is the source of many mysteries, and during my exploration, I accidentally found a girl's comb, right here on his desk. Fang wonders where the comb is until he sees it floating and thinks it's Lil's doing. Didn't I tell her not to use her powers to help me? Why is she doing this? At this point, something grabs his hand, and when he turns, she grabs his neck. Damn, what is this? Another ghost choking me. But he can't even scream, and his body is getting stiff because the ghost ability prevents him from moving. He's trying to call for help from Lily, but from her point of view, she can't see anything. She's just standing there, wanting to finish filming the video and eat. Fang realizes he's about to lose consciousness when the bracelet activates again. He then grabs her wrist. The ghost is confused, wondering, how is he touching me? Domestic violence then occurs, and at least he starts breathing again. Even he's confused by this golden power in his hand. But the demon asks, why did you do that to me? She comes for another attack, but something in Fang's mind tells him to duck, and he dodges. He realizes his body is much more flexible, almost like a gymnast. The ghost starts trying to flee, but hits the door. Lily trapped her and told Fang to take advantage of the situation. He then realizes the voice in his head is Lily's. But did she also give him this power? It doesn't matter because now he's going to take this chance to test this power. He tries to punch, but the ghost dodges, but she's afraid, wondering, damn, who is this guy? I have to get out of here. But he manages to hold her and says she won't escape. As he's all about gender equality, he throws her against the wall with such force that she vomits. Fang says, you dared to attack me and now I've got you, so don't even think about escaping. But here comes the special attack that finishes anyone. She starts transforming, taking on a very interesting appearance, comes close to his ear and asks him to let her go. If he says he'll let her go, she'll do anything delicious he wants. What a softie, this girl turned his ear into a C. But our boy is starting to like this cutie until he notices someone staring at him. When he looks, he realizes that Lily is going to want to kill him and says, in broad daylight under the clear sky, you offer me something so improper. The ghost is confused, thinking it's neither day nor clear sky. But he doesn't stop. Don't think these unorthodox methods will break my determination of steel. Thank goodness Lily woke me up from this illusion. Otherwise, I would have been beaten up later. But this new ghost is unstoppable and says, brother, you have to believe me. I won't hurt you anymore. But she gets in with the power, and our boy feels the effect. And now he can't touch her anymore. She says she only approached to absorb his spiritual power. Then she punches him, and our boy goes flying. Laughing like the Joker, she says, arigato for the spiritual power, now you have no way to escape. Fang is dodging and surviving, and she's getting confused since he seems to be getting faster and faster, so she needs to finish this quickly. She lets out a scream and goes for another attack, trying to grab his face. But he manages to hold her wrist. She comes for another strike, and he says, to kill me, you have to learn to do things right, woman. She's going crazy, but he hits her again. Truly, the boy has talent and has turned this into the UFC. He's headbutting the table with the poor girl. She's unable to defeat Fang because Lily is sucking all her energy. He then lifts her by the collar and asks, now creature, why are you causing trouble here? But suddenly, she stops and starts crying. Our boy feels embarrassed, thinking this will look bad on the live stream as he's now appearing like a villain. He drops her to the ground and she asks why she's being treated like that. She turns into a child again and Fang recognizes her from internet posts, so he says, Lian Shang, is that you? She confirms and apologizes for attacking him. The content creator spirit is unstoppable, and he's already imagining how successful he'll be if he solves this mystery. So he starts asking her questions. How did you die? Why did you attack me in this school? Is there anyone else here? She says some guy forced her to do all this, but she didn't want to. Our protagonist asks who this guy is and if her death is related to him, already imagining a big mustached uncle. Who is he? Why would someone harm a girl like you? He hugs her, telling her not to be afraid as Big Brother here will help her. She asks if that's true, and if so, she'll explain. But then, a dark power appears on her back and she's pulled away. Our boy tries to save her, but it's too late. And a giant demon appears, saying, are you looking for trouble? How dare you touch my Ling Shan? You're going to die. The creature comes to punch him, and our proto realizes the spirit is very strong. But Lily steps in and says, what do you think you're going to do to my husband? She creates a barrier to try to protect them, but he's thrown and hits his back. Both of them seem about to pass out. When he opens his eyes again, he's in her arms. At least she wasn't killed. He then gets up but almost falls from the tree, and she saves him just in time. He looks to the side and sees they're still at the entrance of the school. We managed to get out alive. What happened to Liang Shang? Lily says what's inside is very powerful, and he asks if she can't defeat it. She sadly says that with her current spiritual power, she can't. But at least she managed to finish the video, and now it's time to eat. She takes a finger of Sukuna, and our protagonist asks where she got that from. Lily says when the spirit grabbed him, she took the opportunity to pull it off. Seeing the size, Fang is incredulous, wondering how she's going to eat all that. She just tosses it up, pulls all the energy, and that's it, she's fed. He notices that when she feeds, his exhaustion and tiredness also disappear. It seems these sources of negative energy are the best for her. He then asks Lily what happened after I passed out and how did you bring me here? And why was my reaction time so good? She was about to explain, but the sun starts to appear and burn her body, so she grabs him and flies to the apartment. Poor thing is trembling and melting, he has to close all the windows. Once everything is dark, she says she finally feels comfortable. He puts her down and starts petting her. The funk explains that the curtains there won't be able to block the light later. What will she do? Or will she hide? She says she'll enter his body. With the contract they formed, she can't die inside him. Fang jumps in surprise, asking, when did I form a contract with you? Lily responds, wasn't it you who said you wanted to marry me? That's our contract now, since now you and I are one. As long as you can find things for me to eat, I'll regain my original energy. Our hero is confused. What's with this talk of becoming one? She says that if she runs out of spiritual energy, he dies too. And obviously, if he dies, she dies too. Now the fatigue he felt when he woke up is explained. Fang then wants to know, was the extra strength I had your doing? She says yes, now he can use part of her power. If she's strengthened, he'll become very strong. Poor Fang is having an information overload. Back in the school, the little ghost is being thrown against the wall. A shadow with red eyes speaks to her. I sent you to kill, and not only did you not obey me, you also spread information about me. You should know that if we don't kill him, we'll die. Liang Xing, you're mine. I won't let you go. never. I can feel they'll come back. And next time, I'll kill them both with this hand. Too bad, there's a finger missing now. The scene then shifts to our boy ordering Naruto ramen. The chef finds it strange because normally he only shows up when they're about to close. So why is he here so early? He says it's nothing. He just wanted to wake up early today. The guy hands over the ramen, which looks very good. Our greedy boy starts eating, but he's having a mental chat with her, asking what's with her not having enough soul power. She explains she lost all her physical strength, and now that she's a ghost, she needs soul power. He then asks what are the methods to recover. She says the easiest is to eat cursed objects like yesterday, but she can also absorb fear from others to recover. Fang gets curious about this fear absorption. She explains that's how spirits survive. To exist as a spiritual entity, they need to scare people and absorb that feeling. That increases their power. Our boy starts thinking that he only managed to awaken her because he was doing the live stream, and the fear of the viewers gave her a lot of energy. He's back home now watching yesterday's fight. If the live stream had this effect of boosting her energy, I think the video will too. Impressed that the recording was absolutely perfect. No professional could have recorded so steadily. If you add some scary background music, some comments on top, this has a chance to cause a lot of fear and make him richer, obviously. Remembering the director who was nice last time, he decides to let him handle it again. He calls her and she teleports in front of him smiling and gets scared but asks, "What did we find last night in that school?" She interrupts saying it was something very delicious. Fang asks if she can handle it because that way they can go back there and make a series for the channel and also save poor Liang Xing, who's trapped. But she says she can't unless she finds the hairpin. Our boy asks if she remembered anything. She says after eating all that stuff, she kind of remembers a bit. It's near her tomb, but she's not sure. And then she puts on a crying face, saying, "Please, husband, help me. It's very important." Our boy is becoming quite the player and replies, "Since you and I are now one entity, of course I'll help you. But with this hairpin, can you defeat that creature?" She says yes. With the hairpin, she devours everything. The protagonist asks how they're going to find something like that. I have no idea what it looks like or where it could be. She explains that some people stole her tomb and she scared 2 of them until they went mad. Another one escaped and she doesn't know how, and probably the hairpin is in his possession. But that was 6 months ago. Fang says it's been a long time. This guy could be in any country in the world. She says that's not the case because after absorbing yesterday, she can sense that it's close. She just doesn't know exactly where, but it's in the city. He then says, "Perfect, show the way, and together we'll find this hairpin. Then we go back to school, finish everything off, and film." She agrees, saying there will be plenty to eat that way. Our guy then decides to take a look and sees something on the internet about someone who kept going to her tomb. At that moment, he receives a message and thinks it's from Director Wang, but it's a message from the police, warning that there have been several attacks in the Haitian region. It's good not to go out at night and always be accompanied. Our guy finds it strange that the police have been issuing many of these alerts lately, so something different is happening. Back with the gang that helped him record, they're all beat, they haven't had any work lately, and one of them says it would be good if Fang gave them another job. Another one gets angry and says, "Didn't you see that we almost died there?" It's good that he didn't ask for anything else. The shaggy-haired guy says, "What do you guys think about leaving this company?" The director is nice, but there's never anything to do. But just then, the director opens the door and says, "Work's coming, kids." Everyone starts pretending they were doing something and asks, "What's the job this time?" He bangs on the table and says he put it in the group. The job this time is again for Mr. Fang. The guys get scared and want to know, "We're not going to do another live stream in a cemetery, right, boss? Our lives are more important." The boss tells them to relax since it's just video editing, and he'll even pay $1,000. And if the video gets popular, they'll get a share of the profit. They then open the video to watch it. Wow, he made another supernatural adventure. This guy is out of his mind. But unless he's finding more ghosts, it won't be that good. There are already plenty of mediocre ghost videos. The kid next to them says last time he got really lucky for all that to happen. And also lucky to come out alive, but it's impossible to go viral. Director Delmo Brada says they don't know anything since this one turned out even better. It's our pot of gold. This time our studio will return to its former glory. The guys are watching our protagonist still doing the intro, until they all start getting scared and wondering, why is the calm floating? It's almost choking our friend out of anxiety. They see the protagonist pulling the ghost off the table and are perplexed. What the hell is this? It's not possible. Did he hire some 3D production team? There's a mechanism on the table. There's something strange. The director says, "I thought that was the case too." But with my 10 years of production and editing, I went through it image by image, frame by frame, and didn't find anything strange. A while later, they finished watching. The director says he's watched it several times, but it still scares him. The kid pulls the director and asks, how did Ling Shang die? Who's behind all this? Is this story really related to the case from 10 years ago? The director pulls out the paper and responds, oh, I looked at the news from 10 years ago. The girl in the video is identical to the girl in the case. If this video impresses us who understand about editing, imagine those who don't. It's certain it will become popular and will receive a share of the profits. Now we're talking about making more money. Now everyone's motivated. 4 hours later, the terror of the ghost school. Hayu primary school. The real event of the girl from 10 years ago. The scoundrel is all proud. They put some titles, a background music, and improve the audio, all to make it as terrifying as possible. The boy asks if the director wants to take a look, but he says no and asks to send it right away for him to post. He asks if it wouldn't be better to send it to Fang before posting, but the director says it's not necessary because Mr. Fang said he trusts us, so I'll just post it directly. The scene changes to another company in the office. The old man was browsing the internet when the video appeared to him, and he wondered, what's this here? Video of the girl who disappeared 10 years ago? Another horror adventure. Nowadays, there's a lot of stuff like this, but it's all trash. Let me take a look. But when he watches and sees the giant monster, he's so startled that he even spills hot coffee on his pants. Staring at the screen, he thinks this video here is too good. He immediately calls everyone to watch. The people at the company are surprised by his excitement, saying, we haven't seen you this excited in a while. He says they'll understand when they watch it, and everyone starts watching. They are apprehensive and interested, but when it ends, everyone feels the same way. They want more. The boy says to the boss, this video is bizarre. The quality of the footage, the stability, and the effects. How can someone achieve such quality with just a cell phone? Moreover, he's filming at the actual location, a kind of quality that only cinematic production can achieve. How does he have so much investment? The director says he doesn't know, but it's not simple to do something like this. We'll have to look into the mastermind behind all this. Our hero is heading home, saying he looked into the clues she mentioned. And 6 months ago, some people were seen near the princess's tomb. They were unusual people in that place, and it seemed like they were looking for something. The police were called by the village people, and they arrested 2 guys. But the third person wasn't found. They all had a history of tomb raiding. In jail, the 2 who had been arrested were having a mental breakdown and went crazy. It seemed like they had seen something extremely scary. In the end, the police announced that it was just their mental impact that made them act that way, and both were arrested for stealing cultural relics. But there's something very suspicious about all this. The police found no sign of violation in the princess's tomb, and the only people who knew the details had already gone mad. Is there a secret tunnel? Where is it located? Who is the third person? All of this is still a mystery. If that person managed to steal your hairpin, they're definitely not normal. Walking in the city, he asks, are you sure your hairpin is in this direction? She leaves his body and says yes, they're getting close. Our guy tells her to get back inside and not to go out in the middle of the street. When there's no one around, I'll take you out. Our boy then notices something strange. It's not even dark yet, but the streets are empty. Is it because of the police thing? Lily guides him, pointing the way. Until they reach the alley surrounded by police tape, a crowd, and a guy with a dehydrated body. The people around are commenting that that death is scary, and the event was very suspicious. Even Officer Zhang came. Zhang asks, what do you think of this case, Xiao? Fang is approaching. Everyone is terrified by the dried-up corpse, as it's the 3rd case of a body appearing like this. And even the number of police in the city is decreasing. Zhang notices our little protagonist arriving there. While the officer next to him says, the person died around 3 in the morning last night. There's no sign on the body and no trace of the attack. Moreover, the killer seems familiar with the camera positions, as we found nothing suspicious. Similar to the last 2 cases, the cause of death will be determined as heart failure. But that's what's strange. The past victims had no heart-related problems. Zhang asks, in your opinion, what's going on? The guy says he thinks it's a series of murders indeed. And it seems they're all random and without any purpose. Whoever did it knew how to avoid the cameras and probably used some kind of poison. Zhang says that no poison was found in the other victims and no traces of drugs or anything like that. And the appearance of the corpse is this dried-up body, which is impossible for a natural death of such a short time ago. We have to think carefully if there's any other possibility. The officer asks, another possibility? I can't think of any. It's almost as if the killer were a ghost. Zhang puts his hand on his shoulder and says, as Sherlock said, eliminate all that is impossible, and what remains is the truth. Now let's go quickly. We've already sent the notice for everyone not to go out at night. and the rest will be left to the other departments. Meanwhile, he observes Fang leaving. This world is stranger than you think. Night falls and we see a guy lighting a candle. He pulls out the brooch and is making an offering, saying, "Lord, it's time." The Big Mac Eater appears on the wall. The creature licks its lips, asking if it's time to hunt again. The guy responds affirmatively, saying they can leave at any moment. The chubby one compliments him, saying that among the three, he really was the best choice, but the boy replies it's because he's lucky. The demon says that with his help, the police will never find the two of them. With this invincible weapon in my hands, even a level 4 evil spirit is easy to defeat. When those soul hunters arrive late, we'll already have evolved and left. Now, let's go for today's hunt. We see our guy having some water, talking to Lily. He asks if she feels anything, and she says the aura is becoming vague. She explains that considering the energy used in that body, she's sure. Whoever killed that person is using her hairpin. She leaves his shoulder, pointing in a direction, saying she feels something. That person is around here. Fang asks, who among those people? She says she's not sure, but it's among those people. Our hero then runs off. He looks back and tells the waiter, "I don't need anything else, thanks." The waiter looks at the glass and thinks the damn guy sat here all day, bought a water, and now leaves saying he doesn't want anything. Meanwhile, our guy enters the club. The problem is that the ghost can't perceive who the right person is. Suddenly, a girl appears while our guy tells Lily they'll walk around until she feels the energy increase. But the busty girl has already clung to him and says, "Hey cutie, do you want a drink?" Our guy is confused and she says that after the drink, they can go somewhere more private and talk about life. Or maybe she wants to try making new lives. Our hero says no and tries to push her away, but she insists, saying, "Let's have fun, little brother, you're still young." Indeed, she has a lot of fun to offer. But Lily pinches him and unintentionally he pushes the girl, who ends up far away. In an extremely painful way, and I'm not writing random stuff just to stall and you to enjoy the fall. But everyone in the bar noticed what happened. And some guys from the gang came saying, "Hey kid, causing trouble in our territory." Fang tries to explain it's a misunderstanding and was unintentional. But the guys come at him saying he's too arrogant for his age and needs to know the visiting room. At that moment, the guy puts his hand on his shoulder, but Fang tightens his fist, causing the guy to fall to the hard ground. Another crazy guy claps, saying, "You got some skills, kid, but this isn't the place for you to act like that." Lily says, "These people seem kinda dangerous. Why don't you let me finish them?" Fang thinks it's better not to, especially because he doesn't want to end up in jail. But there are already two coming to hit him in the back. But the scene changes to a drunk chubby guy walking down an alley thinking, "My business has been so bad lately. I need to go home, drinking is so good." Suddenly, he falls into someone's arms and says, "Thanks, young man. I'm trying to get home." But it's the Big Mac Eater's friend saying it's a shame, but you won't have that chance. And he tosses the brooch into his hand. Getting close to his ear, he says, "Just go straight down the alley. If you go in a straight line, you'll reach your home." As the guy leaves, he says, "Good meal, my lord." The guy moves forward, but the devil is already behind him. When they reach the wall, the demon's hands grab him and black energy emanates from the wall. Do you remember that little demon baby came out of the wall and started to possess the guy, then began sucking green smoke and devouring everything? The chubby guy was already being lifted, wrapped in a black flame, when suddenly, Fang arrived with a flying kick. The demon bounced like a stone in a lake and exploded against the wall. Our boy was confident, asking the battered guy if he was okay. Clearly wasn't, as he even fell to the ground. At that moment, Lily told him she could feel the connection with that creature, which started to transform and then asked, "A soul hunter. I didn't expect to see one here so soon. I'll give you a chance to let me eat this chubby guy and run away." Our boy, making an offensive gesture, replied, "How dare you hurt someone like this at a time like this? There's no way I'm letting you go." The demon extended a red hand and said, "I don't know of your level among the soul hunters, but since you don't recognize your talent, you'll know death." The evil power began rising from the ground, wrapping around Fang. He wondered, what is this disgusting thing? The little demon child approached him and said, "Die miserably under my soul technique. You'll learn never to offend me again." At that moment, a hand emerged from his chest, piercing through the demon's power. Fang felt relieved, but the little demon was confused. What the hell was that? How did he break my technique? Now Fang was powered up since he activated Lily's power. He charged forward, saying it was his turn to deliver a punch. The demon tried to dodge, but Fang defied gravity and pinned him to the wall, absorbing the demon into his body. The demon was being sucked in, wondering, "Dan, who is this? All the soul power I've been absorbing for a whole year is being taken like this. I have to escape this." Fang went to grab the connection, but the little demon burst out. He appeared behind Fang, saying, "If you won't give it, we'll take it." He hit, knocking the child to the ground, who ended up all battered. Fang asked what they should do, and Lily obviously wanted to devour the little demon. She reached out, but the demon entered her stomach, pulling out a sword that shot a laser, nearly killing them both. The creature then went underground, and at that moment, an officer appeared behind them. Our boy was startled and got cornered. The officer called someone, saying he found the culprit. The skirt guy pointed and said, "Forget it, it's not this kid." Confused, the officer asked, "How do you know it's not Master?" "Look, there's a beaten up guy here. It's the same mark as the bunch of people who've been dying. We should at least consider arresting him." Fang, feeling dumbfounded, said, "What dead person? I'm a good citizen, don't accuse me like that, please." The officer said whoever was killing never got caught on camera, and this boy clearly didn't care about being seen by that one. The guy punched the wall, frustrated. "Damn it, how are we going to let this criminal commit crimes?" Then he asked, "Who are you and what are you doing here?" At that moment, the drunken chubby guy stood up, saying, "Officer, he's my savior." The policeman quickly went to him to ask a lot of questions. "Who are you? What happened? What do you remember? Are you the first victim? Did you survive?" The chubby guy was trembling and nearly fell. He had to be held up. The officer pulled out his walkie-talkie and called for an ambulance. The scared guy approached our boy and asked if he was a soul hunter. The protagonist thought, "This soul hunter thing again? What is this, some kind of organization dealing with these situations?" He was about to say yes, but the guy interrupted and said, "You've never heard of soul hunters, have you? It looks like you've just awakened. Don't be surprised, kid. You're very young and I can see what you're thinking written all over your face." He handed him a card saying, "Next time you want to lie, control your micro-expressions better." Zhang saw that the guy was a police captain named Zhang Qinggao. A captain then told our protagonist to be more careful when dealing with these things, and he keeps thinking that our boy is interesting. From afar, on top of a building, that guy is holding the demon child. Obviously angry because all the soul power he had been accumulating was taken by the girl. The little demon says, "Let's go to another city, but I will remember this humiliation." The guy agrees and descends from the building. However, Fang is still following the direction indicated by Lily's brooch. Fang then asks Lily why she is in her spiritual form. She explains that Officer Jiang had a lot of yang energy, which is positive, so it's bad to appear in front of him. He then asks about the soul magic that the demon baby used. She explains that soul magic is very powerful, but is extremely difficult to use as you have to be much stronger. And for some reason, the artist spent an extra 5 minutes drawing the toe. Lily tells Fang that her husband, when she was alive, also had soul power, which is extremely rare to possess since spiritual energy is available worldwide, but only a few people have soul power. Fang asks, "Didn't you say you lost your memories? How do you know these things?" She explains that as she regains her strength, she is also recovering some memories. Fang asks why he couldn't break free, and she says it's because he didn't know how to use his power very well. He needs to learn to release more spiritual power. He stares and asks, "Release spiritual power? How do I learn that?" Lily explains that it takes a long time and a lot of practice, but she has an idea at that moment. She appears and tells him not to move and then steals a big kiss from him, that sneaky ghost. They then end up in some kind of lake and suddenly are in a void. She explains that this is his sea of consciousness, and since they are married, she can stay here for a while. He then asks, "Why did we come here?" "We have to capture the baby and the brooch." She hugs him from behind and says, "Don't worry. The speed in the spiritual sea is 10,000 times slower than in the real world. Besides, only here can I familiarize you with the use of Reiki energy for a short period. Adam and Eve, here you go." They then perform an exchange of temperature. She says that clothes greatly affect the reception and perception of spiritual energy and tells him to close his eyes and feel the energy that starts at the dantian. She touches his side near the navel and it begins to transcend. Back in reality now with a golden aura. This is the true power-up. While Goku screams, he enjoys it. The two run through the city until Lily points to the side and he sees the guy fleeing. The villain asks the little demon why he couldn't kill that boy. The little demon explains that there was a spirit inside him and it was above level 5. However, he senses something risky approaching and thinks they should leave quickly. He runs to his motorcycle and goes to start it, but just then, look who's right on top of the pole. Fang recognizes the guy's name immediately. The guy is shocked at being discovered and nearly gets kicked. He retreats, draws his sword, and releases the little demon. But now it's over for him. Fang's glowing too brightly. Fang tells him to hand over the brooch. The little demon responds, "You want my king's Horcrux? Then I'll grant your wish," transforming it into a sword. Creating a pool of darkness around him, now the boy is atop a black dragon. He manages to surround Fang entirely in a ball of darkness, but suddenly, it all explodes. The boy did the right cultivation, but with no time to spare, the dragon came to bite him. But look how confident our boy is. He punched and shattered everything. The little demon trembled and tried to dodge. He drew the sword to strike, but just then, Lily advanced, activated something, and there was an explosion in the creature. Fang jumped and managed to grab the brooch. However, he is being held by what remains of the little demon's energy. While the demon holds him, he holds the brooch and Lily is consuming everything. The little demon is lost, not knowing what to do. He tries to recover the brooch to regain his strength, but now Fang has transcended. That 10,000 slow-motion cultivation worked wonders. The boy even summoned an energy sphere, and with one blow, the ghost dissipated, turning back into a crying baby and vanishing into thin air. saying that he can't breathe underwater. It's very uncomfortable. His memories then enter Fang's mind, allowing him to see everything he had been through. He saw that he died when his parents drowned him. Then he was thrown into a dump and eaten by dogs. My goodness, what a pleasant life. Naturally, he turned into an evil spirit and sought revenge. Suddenly, the little bandit tries to sneakily slash Fang, who calmly parries the attack. The poor guy falls to the ground, trembling and clutching his head, saying he can't believe it. He wonders what is happening, saying he will be killed. Fang grabs him by the neck and tells him to answer only what he asks. The bandit nods, saying he understands. The protagonist then asks how he knew that demon baby. The bandit explains that half a year ago he met a man named Chang Bai Dao while seeking information. It was a well-paying job, and since he was out of money, he was forced to accept it. Our boy then asks who this guy is. The bandit explains that Chang Bai Dao is a guy who shares information within the industry. He seems to know a lot of people and talks to some big shots. That's why he always has good, well-paying jobs. The order he received was to go to the princess's tomb and try to get something from there. However, he didn't say anything, just handed him a simple jar. He said that when he got close to the princess's tomb, he just had to open the jar and he would find what he wanted. But since he was in a hurry at the time and staying in a hotel, he opened the jar. That's when the demon baby came out. The ghost attacked him and left him paralyzed. He only regained consciousness when he was already at the tomb, attacking his own friends. The ghost told him that if they worked together, he would make a lot of money. And since he has a sick child, he had no choice. Fang says that doesn't make sense. He killed other people, making other families even sadder than he was. It's no excuse to save his sick child. The guy starts banging his head on the ground, begging not to be killed. He asks to be handed over to the police. He doesn't care. He admits he made an unforgivable mistake. The protagonist says that the people he affected are the ones who need to forgive his mistake, but now he wants to know where Chang Bai Dao is. The bandit, with tears in his eyes, says he has no idea. This guy gives all the missions online. The items were delivered by mail, and the money was always received from foreign accounts. When he needed to meet him, he would give a place and he would wait. It was always in an unknown place. He has no idea where this guy is. Fang then takes the idiot's cell phone. He notes down his number and warns him, "If this guy contacts you, you talk to me." He throws the phone back to him. The guy is confused and asks, "You're not going to arrest me, not going to hand me over to the police?" But Fang says he needs him to capture this guy. Besides, he needs to save his son soon and then help the families he harmed. The guy thanks him by banging his head on the ground. He stands up in disbelief and thanks our protagonist. After he saves his son, he will turn himself into the police to pay for his crimes. However, Fang is not sure if that was the right decision. He asks Lily if what he did was right. After all, that guy already hurt a lot of people. He just doesn't want more kids to end up like him. Lily says it's not worth thinking about it because he already decided, and she is more impressed with the strength he gained. He defeated that demon baby. She hugs him, all happy, saying that besides that, he also found her brooch. He really did an amazing job. Our protagonist says it was nothing. He asks if she remembers anything about this spirit named Chang Bai Dao. She pauses to think and says no. He smiles and says they'll deal with it later then. Let's go home first. She tries to enter his body but bumps into him. He playfully blocks her, showing what he's holding, the brooch. She gracefully asks him to put it on her. Our protagonist feels embarrassed and she asks if he doesn't know how to use a brooch. But now in her eyes, the boy is a king of dynasties. He puts the brooch on her and asks if she likes it, and she starts crying emotionally. He is startled to see her so happy, and she says she loves it. A drop falls to the ground and she begins to transcend. This girl is the enemy of clothing. Her power-up is very strong. Fang blushes too. She then gets a new outfit and appears as a princess from a dynasty. A shining mark on her forehead transfers another power to our protagonist, who feels stronger than ever with a dragon's power that makes his aura tear the skies. From afar, some people see it. One of them is the girl from the club, and it looks like they are two soul hunters. They are there, clearing out creatures until a monster with tentacles on its back appears. It attacks the nameless beauty, but she shines in the moonlight, and with one move slashes the creature. In another abandoned building, some guys are holding someone and also see the rising light. The blonde guy with the scar says he noticed the baby's soul disappeared. Chang Bai Dao says it doesn't matter. It was just a test. However, they will at least have to investigate what happened to the baby. The blonde guy with the scar then puts his palm on top of the guy's head, makes him levitate, and distorts his body. Even Zhang Chang Bai Dao saw this power. His friend asked what it was, and he said it was nothing. At this moment, Fang finished his power-up and was exhausted. The energy he received was too intense. Lily then says she feels someone coming and that they should leave quickly. They are back home. Fang asks her if that energy that shot into the sky will appear in the news tomorrow. She says no, since only those with condensed energy in their bodies can see it. He questions why the energy amount was so great this time. Lily explains that it was because it contained parts of the souls the baby consumed, and a large part of it was because they absorbed the brooch, which contained at least a tenth of her power. Fang wants to know if she recovered any memories, but she says only a few details. He caresses her, saying she doesn't need to push herself so hard, and she hugs him. saying it feels so good to be with her husband. Then he receives a message from director Wang saying that his video has exploded in views. Our proto-capitalist throws the woman aside, curious to see how much he has earned. When he checks the computer, he sees it was uploaded 3 hours ago and already has over 1 million views. The comments are all loving the video. Now the rascal is thinking he's going to get rich. He hears someone saying, "Come take a look." Confused, he wonders who said that. Lily emerges from within him and tells him to look into the sea of consciousness. He dives back in. Upon arrival, he sees a bunch of golden fish floating. She explains that these fish are all forces driven by fear. As you can see, fear gives a lot of strength. She then tells him to close his eyes and turn his back. You know what happens when she does that, right? They experience freedom and happiness. The fish start entering his body, strengthening him. If cultivation were this easy, everyone would be transcending. Wang feels that now he could defeat that child without her help. As he takes a bath, he thinks about this mysterious organization, her memories that need to be recovered, and his videos. His life is exciting and dangerous, but he will survive and seize this opportunity. He's all Aaron Jaeger in front of the mirror. At night, she emerges from his body, touches his forehead, and ruins my monetization. She hugs him, saying she has waited over 1,000 years for him. However, in Fang's memory, things aren't so fun. He's seeing a bunch of people screaming, a gas can, and the orphanage burning down, but he seems demonic. Somewhere else in the next day, a guy watches his video, thinking that is really good part and thinks there are many talented people nowadays. Meanwhile, in the room, our boy wakes up in demonetization, and this artist loves drawing feet, I've noticed. Our boy is dreaming about eating delicious things. It's a lot of fun until he wakes up and feels he squeezed a bun. What could that be? Obviously, when he opens his eyes, he gets a fright and I feel sad. Our protagonist puts his hand on his face and runs out, saying he has to hold his nose here. He tells her to put on more clothes, woman. She gets a bit angry, wanting to exude spiritual energy. She conjures once again and finally a skirt appears. Now when he looks, he's impressed by her beauty. He also asks if she's no longer afraid of sunlight. She explains that now that she has regained part of her strength, that's no longer a problem. Fang wonders if she really isn't a spirit but something that exists in this world. She jumps to hug him, but at that moment, his phone rings. Our boy tells himself to calm down because he has to answer it. It's director Wang saying the video from yesterday is doing very well. Fang says he already saw that, but what's the problem? Wang explains that many directors want to contact him to place ads in the next video, and just those contacts will pay a lot. Fang tells him not to accept anything yet. For now, he only has 2 videos, and it's better to increase popularity before starting to sell out. The protagonist then asks the director if he knows how to manage accounts. The director says he has managed some accounts with 20,000 followers, but that's less than what he gained in one night. Fang says he wants to change the contract. From now on, Wang will handle everything on the account while Fang will only focus on recording videos. Wang feels awkward, saying they are a very small studio and Fang is growing too fast. He doesn't know if they can really manage. Fang wonders if the director doesn't want to work with him. If you don't want to, I'll ask someone else then. The director changes his mind, saying he does want to. The split can be 20% or 10%. Is that good? Fang says he'll give him 30%. All because, back when he was completely broke, director Wang accepted his proposal that everyone else rejected. The director is moved to tears, saying he's incredible and very kind. Our boy asks for the contract and says he'll record the next video. Looking at the computer, he's impressed by the success. Much of the energy Lily recovered came from the fear people felt in that video. He then calls Lily and asks if the fear from yesterday was enough. She says it was a lot, but still far from full recovery. Fang asks how far away it is. She then conjures a green sphere to represent how much power is left. Only the bottom part is filled. Fang, feeling a bit insecure, asks, "What's the chance we can handle those creatures at the school now?" She says it's 100% certain they'll be able to handle it. Our boy puts on his clothes and says, "All right then, let's rest and take care of this." She's obviously thrilled because for her, eating means dealing with big creatures. Night falls, he puts on his cap, opens the window, and flies out, leaving the cap behind. The scene shifts to 2 guys hiding behind a tree. The guy with the mohawk asks, "Brother Zhang, do we really have to film a video here?" The other guy slaps his head and says, "You idiot, didn't you see this was the most popular recorded video? How can we miss a chance to get so many views?" The blonde guy says, "But there's really a ghost in there." His friend puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "That's all special effects." As if there's a ghost, for God's sake. They were just extremely well prepared. At that moment, a hand touches their backs, and when they turn around, it's a TikToker too, and she's angry, saying, "Didn't we agree to meet at the entrance? Why are you two hiding back here, you cowards?" The confident guy now says, "It's an abandoned place, it's dangerous, right?" The blonde guy asks again, "You know there's no ghost here, right? We don't have those mechanisms to film all that." She slaps his face. "What mechanism? You think I'd hire something so expensive? We're just here to take advantage of the popularity. If we make a video titled, 'Exposing the Lie of the Most Popular Video,' we'll go viral." The guy beside her agrees, "That's a genius idea, boss." She tells him to stop with the silly compliments and get to work. He says, "Calm down, boss, I'm hearing a sound behind us." When they turn, look who's coming. They get scared and jump on her back. but it's Fang and Lily. The blonde girl apologizes, saying her friends are a bit crazy. Fang asks who they are. They introduce themselves. The brown-haired guy is Zhang Xiao, the blonde guy is Mao Xing, and the girl is Lin Yuan. At that moment, Mao Xing recognizes our protagonist as the guy with the top video. He tells his friends, and now she blushes, her eyes shining, saying, "Oh my god, your video is so incredible. Please give me an autograph. And this girl beside you, are you a couple by any chance?" Our protagonist hesitates but then says, "She's my wife given all the cultivation we've done together." Fang gives her the autograph and advises them to come back tomorrow. Zhang Xiao says Fang doesn't own the place. Fang then leaves but warns them, there really are ghosts here. I'm not joking. It's dangerous to come in at night and your life will be at risk. Zhang points and says, "Danger? You think we don't know it's all special effects?" At that moment, a gust of wind blows. The guy says, "That wind was weird, wasn't it?" When they look, Fang and Lily have already gone inside. Zhang says, "What if they're in there filming another episode? Let's go in and film them filming. We'll go viral with that too." But Lin Hong runs off, saying she doesn't care about that. She just wants to see how they film and learn from someone so good. Tao Mao Xing tells them to wait and runs after her. Now the three have crossed the protection barrier. Inside, Fang is thinking, I hope they follow my advice. If a battle happens here, it'll be dangerous. Fang then asks Lily if she can sense the ghost's presence. She says yes, it's upstairs this time. He then tosses his iPhone to her and says, "Start filming, girl." She powers up the tripod and our boy is already live, saying, "Welcome to another live session at the primary school. 3 days ago, I encountered an unknown creature. After a tough fight, I was forced to flee. But Liang Xing is still trapped in this school waiting to be rescued." He reaches the door and declares, "I'm back," and kicks it open. He walks through the room searching and Lily points to a hairbrush. He then tells the live audience, "According to my predictions, something related to Liang Xing's death is connected to this hairbrush." As he reaches to touch it, a light rises, saying, "How dare you return here, human?" The monster appears again, giant, warning that now he's entered, he won't escape again. But Fang is confident after all that cultivation. He says it's nothing new, and he knows these tricks. He punches the creature, creating a hole. The ghost is confused, wondering how he got so strong in just a few days. "Where were you hiding your strength, boy?" Fang says he didn't hide anything, he's always had this strength. He just wanted to give the ghost a chance to repent for its sins. The monster, now angry, starts transforming into a Megazord. It says the battle is now about to begin, activating a core in its chest and forming an energy ball above it. The entire ground starts trembling, and now Fang is worried. It's more than he expected. Meanwhile, Zhang is starting his live broadcast. "Hey guys, it's Potato here. Today, we're at Haiwan Primary School. Everyone must have seen that incredible video that was released yesterday. We're here to prove it's a fake." At that moment, they hear someone shouting, "How dare you return, human?" An explosion happens in a window on the top floor. Zhang falls to the ground, scared. What was that? Fang is falling from the sky, exhausted. Lin Yuan gets worried, saying that from that height, he'll die. But Lily flies out from the top floor and catches him. The TikTok trio is in disbelief as she lands. Mao Xing asks his friend, "Hey, were they really flying or was it just my imagination?" Zhang says, "They are incredibly well equipped with those cables. Their preparation is amazing." But then the ghost jumps from the 3rd floor and lands, destroying everything. They are thrown back and Lin Yuan grabs her 2 friends, saying they need to get out of there. However, the ghost says no one will escape now. It stomps the ground, creating a seal, and the entire school is surrounded by a barrier. Zhang Xiao tries to leave but finds it impossible. He even tries to shoulder the barrier but realizes they can't escape. Now they are trembling with fear. Lin Yuan looks back, thinking their only hope is for Fang to defeat that creature. Fang thinks the monster has become much stronger than he expected. The monster is now coming for him. He activates his golden aura and jumps to dodge. The monster stomps the ground and comes for another attack. Fang manages to defend but is thrown far away, his arm severely injured. However, the monster doesn't give him any rest and comes at him again. But Fang uses the power of Smash Bros, summoning his secondary attack character. She uses the power of chains to bind the monster. Now Fang is all confident, saying, "Come at me. I'm right here." The ghost falls to its knees, saying, "Release me, and I'll kill you." Fang pats its head, deactivating the transformation, and asks why it killed the girl. The director says he didn't want to kill her, but she started to run away. So it's her fault, all her fault. Fang punches him in the face, saying it's entirely his fault. He has no idea how wrong what he did is. The director, head down, says, "You want to take my Liang Xing from me?" He activates a purple aura that breaks all the chains. Lily warns Fang to be careful, but the director grabs him and throws him into the school. Fang asks Lily what happened. She says she doesn't know exactly, but it seems he has evolved in some way. The ghost slams his hand on the ground, saying no one will separate him from Liang Xing. Energy balls surround Fang and explode, throwing him away, but Lily manages to pull him back. She uses the chains toward the director, who deflects them, now transformed in front of her. When he's about to punch her, Fang steps in to protect her, but he gets thrown away and isn't in good shape. Fang gets up and tells Lily to hide inside him to protect her. He He starts running, but the director says he will trap him here forever. Explosions start happening all around, but Fang dodges them all. Lily tells him to run to the director's office. All other places are blocked. He reaches the corridor with some energy balls. She warns that if he doesn't get through them, he won't reach the office, but going through is also dangerous. Brave, Fang jumps right through the middle, and the explosion pushes him forward. He remembers that Liang-Xing only appears in the director's office when the brush is touched. Just then, the director appears behind him, saying he won't escape. The woman inside Fang and the three below are all going to die today. Fang responds, "If my prediction is correct, Liang-Xing is here now, hidden in this." He activates his power and touches the brush. Fang says to him, "She disappeared 10 years ago in this room. There must be some hidden space here." The director leaves to attack, and Lily tries to defend, but he breaks through. He activates another energy ball and sends it toward them, but Lily steps in front. The explosion happens, and the director is confident. But when he looks, Fang is running into the hidden space where Liang-Xing is kept. Inside, she is chained up. The portal appears, and they both enter. She is overjoyed to see our boy, who rushes to her and says he's here to save her. He breaks the chains, and she falls into his arms. The director is coming through the portal, furious. He glares at the three of them, saying he's here to eliminate them. Looking at Liang-Xing, he says, "Be a good girl, Liang-Xing, come here." But it's clear she isn't willing. The director loses his temper, saying, "I can't believe you're choosing him." He begins to go insane, activating an aura. Outside, the trio wonders aloud. "I heard a noise when they entered, but now it's silent. Where could they have gone?" Zhang says, "It's fine if Fang wins, but what if that coast wins?" At that moment, Lin Yuan points and says, "Calm down, something's coming." A purple power emanates from inside, and the three of them faint. The director is screaming that no one will separate him from Liang-Xing. If they try, everyone will die here with him forever. Lily says something is strange. The guy's power is absorbing hers. Fang then asks Liang-Xing if she knows the guy's weakness. Liang-Xing says his weak point is in the middle of his chest, but it's very difficult to get past the explosive balls. Fang recalls when he accelerated through them and thinks he might have a chance. He just needs enough speed and to use the same technique. He then runs in that direction, leaving illusions behind. The director smiles, saying Fang is rushing to his death. But our boy dodges left and right, gets in front, and delivers a punch that shoots a laser right into the chest, piercing through. The director is in disbelief. An energy ball appears, and another explosion occurs. He falls to his knees, begging not to be abandoned. He looks towards the girl, trembling. He transforms into a ghost and disappears. Fang then receives memories. 15 years ago, in a car accident during a trip, the director lost his entire family. Mourning their death, Xiang Beidou brought him a malevolent spirit, promising to resurrect his daughter. Liang-Xing asks Fang if he knows anything about her parents. She misses them. He doesn't hide the truth and tells her that he searched for information but found nothing. It seems that after losing their daughter, they both passed away. She says she understands and thanks him, calling him her savior. Our boy responds that he isn't a savior and she can call him Brother Fang. She then begins to dissipate into the air, saying that unfortunately, what kept her alive was that guy's power. However, she tells him not to worry. Her greatest wish was to escape this place. But she wanted to see more of the world. Fang asks Lily if there's anything they can do. She says they need something that can send a lot of spiritual power to her. He tries to use the power in the brush to keep her there, but unfortunately, it seems useless. She thanks him and vanishes. Fang falls to the ground, angry for breaking his promise, saying, "I said I would rescue you and failed." However, the green power begins to surround the brush and it flies into Lily's hand. She then hands it to him, showing a small Liang-Xing in the brush. Fang asks what it is. Lily says that since he wants her to survive so badly, she will help. She gave some of her soul power. If combined with the director's power, she might be able to maintain her existence, but she is very weak, so she won't be able to appear for a while. Fang gets pinched by Lily, who tells him she saved her because he was sad, but he needs to stop worrying so much about other women. She's the only one. Fang says, for God's sake, she's 13 and dead. What are you thinking? I'm not that kind of guy. He then thanks Lily. On their way out, she mentions that his speed power might be related to his soul power. Fang explains that it felt just like in the spiritual sea. Everything slowed down 10,000 times, making it much easier to control his body and react. When he used it, a voice in his head told him the name of the power, which meant a dream of 1,000 years. Lily ponders this since she has been waiting for him for 1,000 years. They then find the three unconscious and our protagonist sees the phone nearby. He places the three in front of the school and heads back home. It's almost dawn and he collapses on the bed, thinking his days are a mess. The enemy of profit strikes again. Fang tells her to stop or Mamoru will have to eat dirt and stone, and asks her to put on some clothes. She gets annoyed and our boy goes to sleep. Finally, they can lie down in peace. Outside the school, Lin Yuan wakes up and slaps the two idiots. She looks at the school wondering, were we saved? What happened at the end of yesterday? She then tells them to check the video they recorded yesterday. They look at the phone and find it crazy. Everything really happened. It seems they were saved by Fang, but now Zhang is excited. We finally got a supernatural video. We're going to be famous this time. Meanwhile, Lin Yuwon is more curious about the fact that it wasn't special effects and wonders. Is Fang really fighting creatures? And the most interesting part is his wife really the princess from the tomb? Fang wakes up again in the room, and thankfully she has forgiven my channel. He receives a call from the director, informing him that the video has already reached 90 million views, calling him the new Mr. Beast. The director says he's a genius and a new success, but Fang responds that it's nothing special and he's exaggerating. But the director explains that he's already at the top. Suddenly, something distracts Fang. Thankfully, he gets up and goes to the living room to talk to the director, who tells him that a new platform has even invited them to join. The registration on the platform costs 50,000, but all posts are promoted by them. And at the current rate, it will make a ton of money. Fang's eyes sparkle, and he tells the guy to sign the contract right away. He falls on the sofa thinking, since he met Lily, he's been making a lot of money. Not just money, but also spiritual power. What's happening? It's a life he never imagined, all because of the enemy of Mamoru, to help the guy activate the cheeky little bell and him out.